Hello, I'm Jeff Fuller. I'm a retired Army Special Forces Lieutenant Colonel living in Haymarket, Virginia, and I'm going to give you a quick introduction to my novel, my first novel, Joint Task Force Phoenix, An American Odyssey. Uh, this was just recently published in July, and I'm having fun promoting it and introducing it to friends, family, and strangers. So basically, this novel grew out of my frustration with the back in 2014 with the Obama administration. I'm not going to get into it too much, but basically, they had a feckless foreign policy, uh, reflected, by the way, today with the Harris and Biden, if you can say it, call it that, administration, and but worse today. And so, what I was concerned about the fact that they were um, feeding the Iranian nuclear program with billions of dollars, both in cash on airfield strips with C-130s full of cash, and also with billions of dollars in oil sales. And there were other things that were going on, but basically, and then the war in the war in against the Islamic State was a pathetic mess with lawyers, young lawyers, and White House staffers making decisions on whether or not a Air Force pilot was going to bomb or not, with many aircraft returning with full loads of bombs from their missions. And there were other things, but that was basically what was getting. And then the beginning of the woke military was starting to appear, although not nearly in the form that we see today. So there were just things about that. Then I thought, well, why not tell a story about this in a way that the average citizen might be able to get some insight into the communications, discussions, the dialogues, and so forth that are going on. So we dress the good guys in the form of the blue forces, the bad guys in terms of the red forces, the media in the form of the fourth estate, and then the political actors like the president and so forth. So all those perspectives are addressed in this novel as we move from the beginning, which is the infiltration of a recon team into Syria, to the end, which is the successful culmination of this operation. So let me introduce you to the protagonist. It's Lieutenant Colonel Harris Norton. He's the squadron commander of the 2nd Squadron of Delta, SFOD, Delta. And his dad was a Vietnam vet. He was raised in North Carolina. And he started out in Special Forces and then went into Delta selection. He lost his wife to cancer, became the 2nd Squadron commander, and he's at the time of the start of the novel, he's been for 4 months on this JTF mission with several cancellations. His significant other is Chief Warrant Officer Cindy Clark, who I'll introduce now. Now, like Colonel Norton, Cindy Clark is formed out of a composite of women I've known in the military. One in particular, whose name I can't mention, but she's a member of the Army Intelligence Support Activity, which is a sensitive operation about which I'll say no more. She was raised by her mom. Her dad was killed in Vietnam. She's in the story here, a JSOC senior intelligence analyst. She lost her foot to an IED blast in Iraq. She's famous in the special ops community as an operator and an intel guru. She was rescued by Harris Norton on an operation a couple of years ago, which is how they became acquainted. She's a martial arts instructor, and she's providing intel support to this operation from JSOC headquarters. Well, there's a number of players in this story, and I highlight here the good guys on the left and the bad guys on the right, and provide just sort of my visualization of these characters. I decided to do this just for fun, and it was fun doing it. Most of these are created from artificial intelligence-based graphics program that I managed to acquire. And I've already introduced you to Harris Norton and Cindy Clark. CIA agent Dotist Lips O'Neill is a famous intel analyst for the CIA and a key player in this operation. Master Sergeant Flowers, recon team leader, is an important player in this operation and is built off of a character that I served with in Vietnam. Matt Knox is the assault force commander, and he's also a composite. Colonel David West is the JSOTF commander, and Major General Sid Krakow is a JSOC commander, and Krakow was built off of a character, one of my mentors that I served with, Major General Sid Shacknow, in terms of his personality and some of his mannerisms. On the right, Chief of Staff Cheryl Harper, President Mary Jefferson, Mary Jefferson's lover and National Security Advisor Amanda Navid, the ISIS commander Maharis Mohammed, and the bio cell leader in the United States, John McCarthy, who goes by the name Hamid. I've prepared several vignettes with readings from different parts of the book. I will save those up on our web Facebook page, but for this version, I'm just going to give you the first one. This is the early phase of the story when the infiltration is going down, and the president is being briefed in the Situation Room by the national security team that's read in on this very closely compartmented operation. I call it hope in the face of disaster at this stage of the story. And you see here Mary Jefferson and a glimpse inside the aircraft that was used for the infiltration. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral William Massey, confidant of President Jefferson and the first gay four-star flag officer that was out in the open, briefed the Situation Room on the infiltration phase of the operation. Madam President, gentlemen, ladies, Lieutenant Colonel Norton and his recon team are approaching their exit point just north of the planned landing zone in Syria. If you look at the screen, we are streaming video from inside the 737 aircraft, and the screen on the right shows the real-time infrared satellite tracking of the aircraft. The room went silent as a surreal figure in the back of the aircraft raised his hand with two fingers extended, and then moved to his left and opened the cargo door. Then there was a flurry of activity in the cabin as the eerie scene, bathed in red light, played out. It seemed like only a moment or two had passed before a large object was pushed out of the door, and then in seconds, the jumpers were gone. The national security team watched the video feed as the lone remaining crewman turned to the now empty door, rendered a solemn salute, and closed the cargo door. As promised, I'm giving you here links to the Facebook page on the left, and that's where I intend to kind of keep things updated and any discussion in response to questions. You can order the novel on Amazon or other booksellers. This is a link to the Amazon page. If you do buy it from Amazon, I encourage you to review it favorably. If you don't like it, send me a message and tell me I screwed up. But I'd rather get nice reviews on Amazon because I want to be successful with this novel so I can afford to write the follow-on one. And finally, the third QR code, it leads to a page where I just provide a summary of the characters involved so that you can kind of visualize them and so forth. And I don't expect to change that a lot, but it'll be something that you could print a copy of it if you wanted and put it inside the book cover for yourself and anybody else that reads the novel. That's it. I hope you read with fun, and I hope it does bring an occasional tear and cause you to hold your breath occasionally and get a feel for the world of special operations from the perspective of a old special forces guy. And by the way, I'm not a Delta operator, and I don't claim to be. I have been around them. I have friends that have served in that awesome outfit. And I don't, when you're reading about the equipment and the material in this, understand that I create that based on my knowledge of what's available in the current market, not on any particular inside information. So if you're a terrorist hoping to gain some insight into our operators' techniques and so forth, you can probably save yourself the trouble because I only touch on that in the broadest sense. So I hope you enjoy it. Again, comment if you have any, and do so preferably on the Facebook page. Thanks so much.